What's going on, guys? Jared here, Dex and Dice Ramblings of an LGS owner. Gonna knock out a quick little video here, and for some reason my webcam is being weird with the focus. Anyways, um, so I'm just gonna address two things really quickly because I've got a whopping 20 minutes before we open. Uh, let's talk about PokeNE and his recent videos about sell your stuff. And then you've got Rudy with his, diamond hands thing, pretty much calling everyone dumb and blah, blah. And not going to knock on them necessarily. It's just those are the two videos that kind of prompted this, so bear with me. As far as the PokeNE stuff goes, where he's telling everyone to just sell their stuff, he's not, like he keeps saying, and everyone's trying to, dogpile him or whatever, but, he's just saying if you have Rudy levels of inventory, if you've got 30 cases of Phantasmal Flames and 25 cases of Prismatic and, etc., you might want to consider selling maybe not your entire collection, but you might want to consider selling half of it over the next few bits, okay? Because, yeah, when it comes time for the Pokemon market to crash, because it's going to crash, everyone who has anything to dump out there is everything in the past year or two of when Pokemon just went complete and total, just, full out, just, oh my god, it just blew up, okay? Everyone who will be dumping stuff will have products from that era, and there will be no scarcity of those products. It will end up being a race to the bottom for those products because, and I don't believe that he had to actually go into detail about saying this, but this is just kind of what everyone should assume is going to happen, is that once that dump happens, you're going to see, I'm just going to use imaginary numbers here, okay, because it's easier. You're going to see, oh, this booster box is $400. Let me list it for $320, or even $370, after fees and everything. The new price of that box is $370. Someone else will see that and be like, well, I only paid, again, not just throwing out numbers, I only paid $200 for this box, Let me mark it down to $360, $350, or whatever. Point being, eventually your new price is going to be a lot lower than what anyone would want. So if you have heavy bags in this shit, I'm not saying for you to dump your entire collection. Sorry about that, that was a weird little sound. I'm not saying for you to dump your entire collection, but I do agree that with stuff like that, as far as the Pokemon stuff goes, yeah, you probably do need to start slowly selling out little positions of it just so you can actually make money on it before the crash happens. I'm not saying that when they get that printing facility in North Carolina, I think it is, up and going in 2027, that right then and there is where the crash is going to start. But it will be shortly thereafter because they're just going to start reprinting things as much as they possibly can. So you might want to consider trying to get rid of some of your stuff that you have now while it's still as high as it is. Again, I'm not telling you to go out and dump your entire collection on that, but I am saying if you have 30 cases of something, leak out a case or two a week. Every other week, something like that, and take that money and either flip it back into your business or put it up somewhere, throw it in a IRA, throw it in the stock somewhere, do something smart with your money for selling that stuff. Don't just I don't know, go and blow it all on a cruise or something, unless that's what you really want to do. It's your money, you do what you want to do with it. I'm just saying that you should probably take advantage of the market the way it is now while you can, because you might only have another year, year and a half of the super, super jacked up prices that we are seeing with Pokemon products. And you know, again, he was just talking about people who have heavy bags in this shit, not to the people who have like 4 boxes here and there, or maybe like 1 or 2 cases of whatever, Phantasmal Flames, or Prismatic, or enter other random Pokemon thing here. He wasn't really talking to you. Hold on to your shit. By all means, hold on to it and ride that stuff out, because let's all be honest here. If you've only got a case or 2 of something, that's laughable numbers. No one really gives a shit about that. It's not even a drop in the bucket, okay? So if you have something small like that, diamond hands that shit and hold on to it. That's probably what you should do with your little collection like that. You know, and with Rudy and all that good stuff, and I understand that Rudy and PokeNE are kind of like unicorn scenarios. They're multi-million-dollar, you know, millionaires, I guess I should say, multi-millionaires and all that good stuff. So, like, you know, they're in leagues of their own, leaps and bounds above what I am, so forth and so forth. But, like, the way Rudy acts about these holding sealed and all that good stuff, and I would like to preface this with he is correct, because graph just goes up when you hold on to the sealed stuff, but it's not like the sealed stuff pays you dividends, you know, at the end of every quarter or whatever. So, like, if you can hold on to a collection and you have nothing else going on, like Rudy, he doesn't need to sell any of that. He has his stock portfolios, his rental properties, the myriad of other LGSs and other businesses that he's probably invested in. His cardboard empire is like, I don't know, God, I can't even think of anything to compare that to that, like, a normie like us would be able to, like, comprehend. But it's like something so, his cardboard empire, even though it's important to him, is something so, like, menial compared to everything else that he has. Like, it's his fun money. It's his go-to, like, just thing, you know. It's not his main generator of revenue, I'm pretty sure. And he's just got it to where it's like that. Like I said, we can't even really compare to what it was like, but, like, he can afford to just hold on to it and do nothing with it, because he, at this current point in his career or life or whatever, he's never going to run into a bill that's going to be such an emergency that he's going to have to dip into that cardboard empire money to pay a bill like that, or a life scenario or something. Let's hope not. Like, fingers crossed. I'm not wishing any ill will on Taco Man at all. I love Taco Man. But he's insulated from life, essentially, when it comes to cardboard, okay? When it comes to his cardboard empire, it is insulated, you know, 7 ways to Sunday kind of thing. He doesn't have to worry about that. So it's super easy for him to be like, just hold on to your shit and never, ever, 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 ever sell it until you're ready to retire or something, because, yeah, that $130 box that you bought will be worth $529 maybe by then, and you'll have 70 of them or something. You get what I'm saying. But for normies, it doesn't work that way, and I don't know, it was kind of weird to hear him, I guess, belittle people like that, even though later in the video he does kind of, like, course correct a little bit with, like, you know, I don't mean blah blah blah, like, if you can, cool, if you can't, I get it, all that good stuff. But, like, you know, a lot of people don't make it that far into his videos and all that stuff. But anyways, it's just one of those things where, like, you have 2 different people kind of telling you 2 different things, and you don't know what the hell to do, because you're a Timmy, essentially. Just like me, I'm a fucking Timmy. And you don't know which one to follow, or which one you should maybe, like, take advice from or whatever. And the simple, real truth about that is neither of them. They are so far removed from where you are currently that their decisions, their decision-making trees, their pros and cons, their, you know, repercussions and all that good stuff, they don't carry as much weight as yours would because they are multimillionaires. They can absorb more bad decisions than you can, all right? So at the end of the day, you just got to kind of do what makes sense to you at the current moment. Sometimes you can try as hard as you can, and you know, what is that old like Star Trek quote or whatever, you can do everything right and still lose. That's life, you know. That's a hard fact to swallow and to actually grasp and understand. But you could do everything right as far as like holding on to stuff and flipping stuff and all that good stuff, and then something just happened to where it completely just levels you. And there's nothing that you can do to dig your way back from it, so you have to just do something else. That's just life. And it happens, and it's sad. But it's something that, if it hasn't happened to you and you are able to build your empires like Rudy and, you know, Brian have been able to do and all that good stuff, like, you got lucky. And they know they got lucky, all right? Even though they're going to tell you that it was just grinding and working 72 hours a week and never stopping and so forth and so forth. That's part of it, sure, but they got lucky. And you can argue that that luck was, like I said, kind of helped out by their ambition and their drive or whatever, but certain things had to happen in certain ways, and stuff just had to fall in line for it to be that way. So like, whenever you're watching them or any other YouTuber who you know makes 6-7 figures a year or whatever, by all means listen to what they have to say, but don't take it 100% to heart, because they're not coming from the same spot as you. And yes, while their decisions and all that good stuff on a monetary scale probably, well, not probably, will outweigh what you do if you win or lose, just remember, like I said, they have mechanisms in place now to where they can absorb stuff like that. And it doesn't, I mean, it bothers them, but it's not something that they can't just shake off, you know? So, anyways, I go back to, they're both right in their own little way, and if you pick and choose which one to follow or to which one to, like, I don't know, emulate or whatever, I don't think that's the right word, but we'll go with it. It's not going to be the same, because they're giving you advice from a somewhat skewed perspective of, no matter what they tell you, they know in the back of their head that it's going to be okay. So like, they might give you some stuff that worked for them 3 years ago but won't work now. Or maybe they're looking at it like, you know, oh, well, that worked 3 years ago, it was kind of risky, I have the stuff to do it now, like, would I still do it again, you know? And but anyways, I'm going down a weird little rabbit hole there. I'm gonna stop. But yeah, I just want to throw that one out there. They're both great guys. I like them. No shade or punching up or anything like that. It's just one of those things where you take what they say, you use it to the best of your ability, you mold it to like your current scenario, wherever you may be, and just hope to God it pans out, you know, that you can work their advice into a way that benefits you, and maybe one day you will end up being like a Brian or a Rudy or something, you know, maybe one day. Or maybe one day you'll just strive to be like I'm trying to strive, where I have like $4,000 or $5,000 in the bank at any given time, and I've got a cushion. You know, I don't have that yet, so I'm still striving for that. But that's my little Timmy goal, you know. So, anyways, you guys have a good one. I'm gonna open the shop in about 13 minutes. So, yeah, You guys have a good one. Take it easy. Remember, life is not a dick. You don't have to take it so hard. You're a trash can, not a trash can't. And just be like Nike and just do it, man. Just do it. Have a good one, guys.